Visit us at podlanderpresents.com to find information on all of our shows.
Give me this shit. Well, that was fine.
It was okay. It was fine.
You know what? Here's to that was fine.
That was fine.
I'm fine with fine.
Fine.
I would prefer to not have episodes that are just fine when we're in the final season.
When we only have like 7 episodes left total of this story.
And there are literally thousands of pages of book for you to choose from.
Yeah.
You know, I would prefer better than fine. But anything that doesn't have me going is fine with me. You know, like as long as we're not seeing fucking...
We're not underwater.
The inside of a man's... I love that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Because that makes me think of the Mario water music.
Welcome to Podlander, Drunkcast, an Outlander podcast. I'm Allison.
I'm Julie.
We are talking about season 2, episode 3.
Season 8, episode 3.
Wishful thinking. Season 8, episode 3.
Excuse me while I pronounce this correctly because I'm a fucking professional. Abies Fraseri.
Which is the scientific nomenclature for some kind of fucking tree, but only it's really just for code. Ooh, code.
Codes.
You know what?
Ring.
You know what Captain Cunningham is learning in real time? Something that everybody learns over the course of Outlander if they do enough guest appearances. And it's that, now you're messing with a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Don't fuck with him. I'm just saying, everyone.
He's good at basically everything.
He's good at everything.
Except for he's a weak seaman.
He's a weak
and
seaman.
Even that, now he's got acupuncture.
But now he knows where you sleep. He knows where you live. He knows where your mom lives.
He knows where, if you've been sleeping, he knows
when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or running guns.
So you better not run guns
for goodness sake. Anyway, fucking... This episode was all about recycling old plot points to me. Fucking Jamie being a bitch. I'm over it.
The youths would call that reheating nachos.
Yeah, they're fucking trying to reheat some goddamn nachos. And I don't, especially after last week's, I'm just like,
yeah.
Well, I need a little more.
I know we opened this with saying that we're fine with fine. I am fine with fine. But it would have been great to not have a meh all season. You know, it's the final season. I want them to go out on a really high note. They still got it because we saw it last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this to me is 100% a writing issue. Mm-hmm. And I don't even necessarily mean the writing of the episode because in most writers' rooms, to sort of like pull back a little bit more. In most writers' rooms, the way that a season of television comes about is they will break the season, essentially map out what's going to happen and where in each episode, what's like for the overall plot arc and individual plot arcs, what's going to happen. And then they figure out who is writing what, and they figure out who's directing what, and that's how you shape a season. So things will get moved around sometimes, but basically you as a group with the showrunner taking the lead, dole out plot points, figure out what's going to go where and how long it's going to take, et cetera, et cetera. Then individual writers take charge of each of those segments. So they are in some ways, you know, very responsible for what goes into the episode. It's their words. Mm-hmm. But in others, they don't have a ton of choice, right? Like,
because they're given the plot they have to write about.
They know what they have to cover. They know what ground they have to cover.
So the choice of which plots get covered is the question.
Mostly, yeah. I'm sure that there are circumstances where someone's like, oh, this is a great opportunity to fold this plot line back in here. But the issue that we were talking about during the live stream, that is going to come up a lot today that Julie and I both had with this episode is like, why are these the stories that we're focusing on when time is so limited? Not that they're bad necessarily. You know what? Sam Heughan does a good job of throwing a hissy fit.
Yeah, he does.
And I have enjoyed several Jamie is a pissy bitch storylines in the past and could have enjoyed this one. And there are moments that I thought were really well handled. There were some great scenes, but again, when we've got so little time, is this really where we're focusing our energy?
Why is this scene so long?
We just did a whole half season about this in the previous season. Yeah. Like we were there very recently. Just if you want us to remember that he is a pissy bitch sometimes, one scene. And do it for lols.
And if it's one scene, don't make that scene like 6 minutes long.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be so serious.
Yeah.
Like Jamie can still be bad at Lord John, but no, I don't buy.
It just took too much time out of an episode that, to me, it felt like this episode was kind of like a weird little circle. Like it's circling around the plots that we're supposed to be paying attention to, but it's not really moving forward. You know what I mean?
All of that is to say, when we're critiquing the writing in this episode, for the most part, at least on my end, I am not critiquing the dialogue.
Oh, no. Some of it was great.
Or the episode structure or any of that stuff. I am very specifically thinking about the season as a whole and what stories appear in this episode and why. Mm-hmm. It was written by Madeline Brestall, who was also the writer of season 7, episode 13, Hello, Goodbye, which is a good one. And it looks like, again, according to IMDb, it looks like she was also Matthew B. Roberts' assistant for quite a while, which that's a pretty, in my limited knowledge, a pretty common trajectory. I know of a couple of shows where somebody started as an assistant to the showrunner or a co-showrunner or like an executive producer, and then got to work up to be like writer's assistant and then staff writer, and then from staff writer to episode writer.
Cool.
And that looks like there have been several writers who have sort of made that trajectory, but from assisting the showrunner to writing for the show is something that happens.
I mean, you would have knowledge and experience with the property. You'd be ready to go.
Exactly.
Right.
So it looks like that is the situation with Madeline Brestall. And then our director is an Outlander veteran.
Metin Hussein?
Yeah, Metin Hussein. We're guessing on the pronunciation there. It does have the little umlaut.
It does.
So, love that.
Yeah, I do love an umlaut.
But this director has some real heavy hitters in the old credits,
in the old Outlander
in season 1, 2 gold standard top tier episodes. The Watch, aka the one with Bad Choices, Billy Connolly in it. At like a very important Lallybroch episode. And then The Search, one of my favorite episodes of Outlander of all time.
Girls' road trip out in the woods.
Yep.
Jane milks herself. Jenny milks herself. Yeah. Fucking classic.
Then in season 2, this director also helmed Through a Glass Darkly, which is the premiere, not in Scotland anymore, episode 2. Episode 3, Useful Occupations and Deceptions. Episode 6, Best Laid Schemes. And an episode that would go in the top 5 of any best episodes of Outlander list, with The Wedding and some other greats, Faith. And AKA the episode that is essentially perfect except for the slow-mo falling Mary.
Yeah.
Of Mary, the falling statue fame. So like that one's also Drunkcast lore.
So this director also very familiar with this story, and it seems like most of their credits up until this time were seasons 1 and 2.
And I think it's worth noting that like all of the stuff that worked really well about this episode is all kind of like crunchy, long time history stuff, where you're looking at relationships that have gone on for years, like the Brianna and Claire storyline that we'll get to. So some great Lord John Willie moments.
Yeah.
Some great moments with Fanny that you can then connect to stuff that's earlier in the show for between Fanny and Jamie and Fanny and Claire. And it makes sense that these two, having this writer and this director at the helm, that this episode would do a good job of all that stuff. So let's start with Fanny. We are sort of opening our episode with Fanny with some piece of shit saying some shitty stuff to her.
She calls him a toe-faced, what is it? Sorry, I've got it right here. Toe-faced footlicker. And you know what? That is a really good insult.
It's quite a read.
And I think that it's almost as good as, what was the one in something poppycock, maybe not poppycock, Popinjay. What was it, Popinjay? Y'all remember it because we had a whole episode where we laughed about it. But this kind of reminds me of that. You foot-faced toe licker.
Toe-faced footlicker.
You know what?
It works either way.
Works both ways.
Yeah.
It's convertible.
Whenever I think about memorable insults on film and television, only one ever comes to mind. That's not true, because I also think about the Wesley speech at the end of The Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
But leading up to Drop Your Sword, all those insults. But the one that always comes to mind first is from White Christmas. And it's freckle-faced Haynes, the dog-faced boy.
Whoa.
Freckle-faced Haynes, the dog-faced boy.
That's pretty bad. I always remember, and this is why I think toe-faced footlicker really stood out to me. There was a series of commercials. I think it might have been a Geico commercial, kind of back in the heyday of the really good Geico commercials where they were kind of absurdist and surreal. Mm-hmm. You remember what I'm talking about? Like after Cavemen, right? Before Gecko. I don't know. And there was one where it was messing with their, like anytime they were going to say a curse word, it would just change it. And somebody was mad at somebody and she goes, "You lit liquor."
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
See?
Yeah.
And so I think the liquor part of it is really evocative.
Anyway, one of us. That's definitely something we would call somebody on a podcast.
Yes, it's very true.
So she tells him off right good, and Bree is ready to throw down. But she's like, no.
No. Those are officers. I can tell that they're officers in the British Army.
Because of the way they're talking to people.
Right. And Brianna's like, what? I got to tell Dad.
Mm-hmm. So Jamie's suspicions continue to mount.
About this old Cunningham.
Old Captain Cunningham. We also see Fanny talking to Claire after she sees Claire and Jamie in a fight. We'll get back to it.
Don't worry about it.
And Claire is like, oh, well, Mr. Fraser being mad at Lord John, who's related to Willie, doesn't mean that we're not going to want you anymore. What are you talking about? And it just made me sad for this poor kid.
Well, she hasn't understood like just actual normal, quote unquote, normal life. She always thinks everything is transactional. And so it's it's a trauma response. She's just scared that she's going to get left on the side of the road somewhere if she makes somebody mad. Yeah. And Claire is doing her level best every episode so far for at least one scene to take that little child and be like, "You're okay. Mm-hmm. Please know we love you and you're cool." So then Fanny, she gets to go to, Jamie built Jane a cairn.
Yeah, a really good cairn.
A really nice one too. And I have to admit that little placement by the creek with the little thing, I was like, shouldn't this be Jamie's placement? I don't know, whatever.
It's prime real estate.
Yeah, it is prime cairn real estate. And he got the nicest, flattest looking river stones. They all fit together perfectly. He has made it into a perfect shape.
It's an Instagram ready cairn.
It really looks good. It's on a mossy rock. It's a place for contemplation.
It's thick.
But he explains to Fanny what it's for. Like, I built this for Jane. Anytime you want to talk to her or think about her, you can come over here and lay a new stone on it and feel close to her spirit, and it's very lovely.
He specifically also mentions, like, I built one of these for someone I loved very much, my godfather, and I'm able to go and talk to him. So there's a nice little
Pamp mention.
We love you, Pamp.
We love you. We miss you.
We miss you.
And then they hear gunshots, and then we'll tie it into something else. But that's kind of the end of the Fanny plots.
That was, they're all little moments, but I think they were some of the better moments in the episode, which is why I wanted to make sure we called them out. That's also true of the forward motion, and it's some of the only true forward motion that we get in this episode, plot-wise, of what's going on with Willie, who is still on the case vis-a-vis.
One more thing.
Yeah. Have you considered that he wouldn't? I sound like Natasha Leon.
I know. Have you maybe considered that he might not be dead?
Why do we both sound like Natasha Leon?
Because we just got...
There's just one more thing.
We watched a lot of fucking Poker Face.
Have you
given any thought to the idea that perhaps you're the murderer?
Anyway, Willie is still trying to figure out what's going on with Ben.
Right. And we open with, thank God, Willie talking to Lord John. Welcome back, David Barry. It's always a sigh of relief when you appear.
Yes.
And they're in, first of all, their crazy Savannah house, which from the outside is looking like Palm Beach.
And you know for a fact that a Fraseri lives there because all of the trim, season 7 blue.
Yeah. And it's like season 7 blue and then flamingo pink, kind of. It's crazy, but I love it.
Lots of ferns. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So we're in Lord John's well-appointed study. Willie is whining his ass off about Ben. And Lord John's like, stop drinking.
Yeah.
You feel like you need something to do. You know who would know if he's alive or not, or would have heard from him. It's his commanding officer. I'm going to set you up with this guy.
Yeah, it's a battle of wills because Lord John, let's be real, understandably, thinks that Willie sounds a little bit nuts. Willie is like, so turns out Ben isn't dead because somebody else was in his coffin. And Lord John,
And my doll is not in his pocket.
understandably, yeah, exactly. Understandably says, it might just be that he's and the other guys, they just got the wrong name on the wrong body. Doesn't that seem more likely?
The British Army doesn't want anyone to know that they lost officers of such a high value to these upstart rebels.
There are lots of reasons that aren't Ben isn't dead, actually.
Right.
So, maybe chill just a tiny
Just
bit.
bring it down a notch.
But also, here, yeah, sure. You want to investigate this? You go to this party, you investigate it there. And he's like, but Dad, you're just doing that to get me out of the house. And he's like, yeah. But we both get what we want. So time for you to go. So they go to a party.
Wait, but first we got to talk about the...
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
They go to a party, and while they're there, Willie is wearing this vest. Before they head out, Willie gets cornered by Amaranthus, Ben's widow, ? And she has embroidered the fuck out of this waistcoat.
It is cool.
It's beaded and it's embroidered and it's intricate and it's giving Beetlejuice. No, just Beatles. It's giving beetle. There's a whole bunch of native bugs embroidered on this waistcoat, and it's so beautiful. And there's also one of the scenes where they're talking about it. She's wearing something I'm guessing she embroidered herself, which is
with the little flowers around the neckline.
So pretty.
Yeah, she enjoys an adornment.
Yeah, the costumes in the Amaranthus story are really good. Anyway, you could say that some sparks are flying.
Well, when she gives it to him, if that's what we're talking about right now, she walks into his room without really even knocking, and there he is with no fucking shirt on. And I've gotten a little bit of a sniff that maybe Amaranthus is maybe not from this time period, because A, the way she acts a little bit, and B, that she would do something like that, like just walk into someone's room without knocking back then. It just feels like maybe she's not of that time.
Counterpoint. Walking into somebody's room without knocking, and
It's
as
just
a
kind
result,
of rude, I guess.
Yeah, but beyond that, it's like a romance novel trope.
You're right.
Like
and she does open the door, and then there is our little baby Vandervaart looking kind of snackish.
Yeah, looking quite trim and boobtacular.
I have to ask, is his hair getting redder? Everybody, I just want all listeners to start paying a little bit more attention to Willie's hair. Is it getting more red?
It's a really good wig because it doesn't look red unless it's underneath the light, and then it does. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hidden. Mm-hmm. His heritage. Mm.
His heritage.
Oh, boy. So he talks to he's got his cute little waistcoat on after Amaranthus has seen them titties, and he goes to the party with Lord John and is talking to Ben's commanding officer, and his commanding officer is like, oh well, Ben, he was a good guy. Was really sorry that he died. That sucks. You could talk to this other person. I can't remember even who it was. Really,
it was something about he had gotten a letter from him. Maybe you want to talk to... Oh, I can't even remember.
You know what? Honestly...
It doesn't really matter.
Correct. Because that storyline, even though it was the only one that seems like it could have real impact or should have real impact on the future plot. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass there. I don't know. Regardless, I'm high. It's fine. it's just like disconnected from what's going on with the story emotionally.
Yes.
Like there isn't, they're not connecting it to whatever William's connection with Amaranthus is. They're also not thematically linking it to what's going on Fraser's Ridge, which they really should be, because not being sure about people's loyalties and what it is they're doing
is what's happening on the ridge.
Right. So like there should be connective tissue there, but it
doesn't feel connected at all. You're right.
So I'm having a hard time even remembering the details because I wasn't emotionally engaged. I was having fun watching the performances, but I wasn't emotionally engaged. Easier to remember is that we get a second appearance, maybe third appearance, from Percy Beauchamp,
the spy who loved me.
Yeah.
The story by Lord John Grey.
John's ex-cousin situationship. But it's definitely a situationship. Who is doing what whom amongst us wouldn't, if given the chance, would do, is creeping on Lord John's thigh under the dinner table, because that is a thigh.
That is, and connected to that guy.
And breeches, in some breeches. Anyway, he keeps grabbing the leg and talking to Lord John about what he needs from him, and it's war related.
No, he wants something about Claudel.
Yes. He wants to meet Fergus Fraser, who he believes to be Claudel Fraser.
He doesn't say Fergus though, right? He just says Claudel, Percy.
But who's the owner of a print shop.
Yeah, we know it's Fergus, but he calls him Claudel.
Yeah. And Lord John is like, why would I know this person? And he says, oh, well, because I know Fergus is connected to a big redheaded Scotsman named Fraser. And I know that you knew a big redheaded Scotsman named Fraser. So hook your boy up. He's like, I don't know, no promises. However, I'll try. And if I try, I want something from you too.
I need to know where Colonel Richardson is.
Yes.
Richardson. Show me Richardson.
Yes. And Percy has a very saucy little eyebrow raise and is like,
I'll try.
Consider it done. So more from him probably in the future.
For sure. And it's definitely going to be related to Fergus, something about the seditious flyers, I'm sure. But I did remember one thing about the Willie part, is that the commanding officer was talking about his Lord John being at Ardsmuir.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And Willie's like, what? Like, Willie knows nothing about how his two dads met. So and then we like see Lord John at this dinner party that he's like 3 seats down from Willie, and he's getting macked on real hard by Percy. And I'm like, does Willie ever find out that his number one Dad Prime is gay? I don't know. But there was this whole thing, the commanding officer was talking about Lord John when he ran Ardsmuir.
Yeah, because he also wanted Willie to talk to him about the Union camp or the rebel camp that he was in.
What did you see there? How are our prisoners being treated? I've got a guy coming in who wants to have this information so that we can start planning or whatever.
Yeah, it must, run in the family or whatever, because Lord John was at Ardsmuir. So I think we'll get some more Ardsmuir deets. Yeah. And Willie is maybe about to learn some things about his two dads.
And then Willie comes home and gives her the clothes.
Yeah. He gives Amaranthus Ben's clothes and also is talking to her about the waistcoat and what a hit it was. And he wants to know what bugs they are. And she starts telling him about the bugs by putting her little thingies on that waistcoat. And I do not know which scientific term it was, but when she touches the big one directly over his pec, I know it was something like Hercules von Tittiness.
Yeah.
Right? But titty was definitely in there. It was a Hercules titty.
Titty. His name's Titty.
Boob titty. It's breastishness. Anyway, and
they have a little kiss,
poking them titties.
So now, we know it's going to happen.
And then they smooch, and
let's keep it going.
Something weird is going on there.
Good. Okay. But then when he gives her back those clothes, she takes them up to put them away and opens up the drawer, and he sees that little D&D doll.
Yeah.
And he gets real excited. And he says, can I see that? And she goes, oh yeah, Ben gave me this to me when he left the final time and told me to give it to the baby when the baby was born. And you see this look go over Willie's face that is so sweet. And then maybe you see a little bit behind his eyes, like maybe he really is dead. Maybe he's gone.
There's some kind of suspicion of something there. Yeah.
Something.
Okay. So speaking of babies.
Let's go. They gave me one episode with an easy childbirth scene where I didn't even have to see it.
Oh, I'm not even talking about that. No.
Oh, you had talking about the whiny bitch babies.
The whiny bitch
of the whiny baby bitch variety.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
I would say the story that gets the most airtime this week,
unfortunately,
is another completely unnecessary, 6 scenes of Jamie being a whiny brat about the fact that Claire fucked Lord John out of crazed grief when she thought he was dead. And listen, here's a way that I would accept this being as a plot point this season. If it was one scene and it was mostly played for laughs.
Yeah.
End of list. Why are we doing this again?
I don't know.
If your point is Jamie is a jealous person, great. You could do that in one scene because we already know that. You just have to remind us.
Do you think that they're doing it on purpose to set him up for some kind of rage out situation?
I mean, if they are, then it's still pretty ineffectual because it felt like a mostly complete arc.
Rehash.
There were things about it I enjoyed. We got, as a result of, basically Jamie remembers that Lord John exists because Lord John writes a letter to Claire and
Brianna.
No, it's to Claire, but it's about Brianna.
Mm-hmm.
And Jamie's like, why is he writing to you? She's like, well, because you're not speaking to him.
You don't like him anymore?
This has nothing to do with you. And he's like, oh, well, sure it does, because it's what he bet you.
And it's like, oh my God. Yawn. We've had enough.
One scene. You could have done it in one. We've got it in one. You're just reminding us. You're not telling us. But nobody is joining Outlander in season 8.
No.
Nobody. This isn't that kind of show. Nobody.
If they are, what's up? Hi. Sorry.
Nobody is. It's not that kind of show.
And then they continue this fight. The whiny bitch babiness continues. He is just, actually, I think maybe Jamie might be going through male menopause. He's kind of maybe his hormones, he's on his 3-month male cycle where he's on his man rag, because he is just really short with everybody right now.
Going back to the good things that we got out of it. The number one thing is my favorite scene in the episode.
Without question.
Which is
Claire and Brianna in the kitchen.
Yeah, Claire and Brianna talking about why Jamie and Lord John are in a fight.
Hot piss, kitchen work, and then also hilarious gossip that makes Brianna laugh her ass off.
And then she gets a really good dig where she goes, do I have to call Lord John Da now? And it's very funny and cute. So that's excellent.
That more scenes.
Also,
like that.
There's a great
Forever.
When it first comes up. If it had been just that scene, that would have been more than enough. Thank you very much. But when it first comes up, Claire says, I'm going to go talk to Brianna and see if she wants to do this, right? Because Lord John wants her to come paint a portrait of Amaranthus and Trevor. It's a very contemporary sounding name. I know it's not, but Trevor. Trevor. Anyway.
And Jamie's like, no, you won't.
And Claire turns around and says something to the effect of, did you want to rephrase that?
Would you care to rephrase that?
And then this motherfucker, who has been married for decades, doesn't. What? That is not how it works. If your partner turns around and says, did you want to rephrase that? You go, yep, probably. And you stop and you play it back in your head and you go, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Yep. That's what you fucking do.
Yeah.
This is a functional marriage. Are you telling me that that Jamie, when Claire turns around and looks like that, that the Jamie who had his brand new wife ride him and hold a knife to his throat.
Exactly.
To teach him a fucking lesson. You're telling me that man is still going to say, no, I guess I don't want to rephrase it.
It just doesn't make any sense.
That man who knows that the next words out of Claire's mouth could be Leary, you asshole. Like, she's not really. At least I wasn't a fucking like.
It's so boring, and it was just too much time devoted to it.
It doesn't feel honest,
right? And it doesn't feel like we had the same problem in season 7. It's like, yeah, you might be a little bit upset, but you know that he was doing it to save her, and the sex thing was not about them being sexually attracted to each other. It was about your dumbass,
and that's. The reason that storyline worked is because we were supposed to be mad at the character, right? We can empathize with why he did that, but there is something very novel about Jamie being so in the wrong. It's the same reason why this spanking storyline is so interesting, is when the hero is just like straight up wrong and they're still a good person and you're watching them learn, that can be satisfying. That's not what fucking happens here. First of all, we went through it last season. It was a good storyline then, but it was fucking 5 minutes ago. Why do we need to do it now? We don't. That's the answer. And second, because we went through this already, a knee-jerk reaction where you revert to a bad habit is totally fine. But this man who has worked so hard to be a good husband for so long is not going to revisit a fucking fight that blew up his goddamn life because his temper tantrum caused huge problems, massive problems. Like, no.
And then it's not just this one scene when she brings in the letter, then they take it to the bedroom while they're getting ready for bed that night. And it's a really long scene too. It's like a 3 or 4 minute scene where it's just this shit.
I tuned out. I never fucking tune out watching Outlander.
It was just boring.
And then it was capped with maybe the most boring sex scene that Outlander has done. It wasn't bad, but it was so dull.
I think she just was trying to remind him of what they share, but it just felt kind of like somebody in the chat of the live watch, and I'm sorry, I should have written your name down when I saw it, said, Claire gives him his binky. That's kind of what it felt like. She's like, let's get back together. Look me in my eyes. You know, we're in this together. Fine. But it was just, okay. He shouldn't be rewarded. It's not really a reward. It's more like shut up. But it was all part of a scene that was too long and kind of boring. All of it, including the sex.
Yeah.
Just meh.
Boring sexual content?
I know. And maybe we're supposed to feel like with something that happens later, maybe we're supposed to think that there's some kind of blue light special going on there or something. But I don't know. But we don't know enough about that part yet.
I don't
early
think
in the
so.
episode.
I don't think we're supposed to think there's sex magic happening.
But it was my least favorite plot line of the entire episode. So fuck them.
You know what? It was my second least favorite plot line.
Ooh, what's your least favorite?
Faith.
Oh yeah,
and that's our transition.
Okay.
We spend a not insignificant amount of time in this episode, once again, trying to nail down the specifics of how Claire and Jamie's baby maybe didn't die and then had babies and they coincidentally met them. First of all, we've been over this. It's just way more interesting if it's ambiguous. Why on earth? Don't take the fucking magic away. Let things be mysterious and overpowering. Oh no, it's too interesting this way. Let's make it about genealogy. How about that? It's like snooze. But then they tie it into Claire's magic blue healing stuff and then immediately strip the mystery out of that because they again just tie it into Faith instead of I could do without the bird shots that means
I don't
we're in Magic Land now. It's like a David Lynch parody. And then we see a lot of close-ups. This is when Claire is trying to deliver twins and one of them is
stillborn.
And then, yes. And then is in breech position and then is stillborn. And the baby comes out and is not breathing. And Claire, there's a great moment in the scene following where Jamie says, I've seen you have that look before. You had the look where you know there's nothing you can do. And it's 100%. Like, that is exactly the look. You have seen it on the show a zillion times, including last fucking week.
Yep.
Like, we just saw that look. It's exactly that look. And then she goes and starts trying to do little tiny teeny baby CPR.
One finger, two fingers.
And it's not working. And then we get this cool camera work where you're seeing her pulse, like in her neck and in her hand. And there's sort of some connective tissue to season 2 and Faith, which again, same director, which is kind of cool. And then all of a sudden the baby is crying. And I honestly thought that was pretty well handled. My issue with that storyline is that if they want to do Claire does healing magic and maybe sometimes sex magic, they probably shouldn't have cut the numerous storylines leading up to this point that reference maybe Claire is magic or maybe the time travelers are magic.
Are we supposed to maybe think that real boring boning was kind of that?
No.
Okay.
No, that was just sex.
But anyway, the baby comes back to life in her very arms, and then she's kind of freaked out about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too.
Yeah.
That was another highlight for me, that scene.
That scene was pretty good when she stumbles into the kitchen, immediately goes to grab the bottle of whiskey, gets 2 glasses, pours them each 3 fingers, and is like, I just want you to know that I felt something very strange to sin that I'd only felt one other time, and I don't know what it is. And she is freaked out. And Jamie's a little bit, you can tell that Jamie believes her, but he's also a little bit like, there was nothing blue. So he doesn't quite know what to do with this information, but he watched it. He knows.
And I think that even though he doesn't see anything blue, he even says something to the effect of like, well, I mean, nothing ever makes sense where you're concerned, Claire, because this is also, remember, Jem could hear the gemstones and then the thing exploded, right? Like little fire starter baby.
Yeah.
Right? That's a double time traveler baby is what that is, right? So like he knows that there's this thing in her family specifically, like in her bloodline somehow, that makes weird time travel magic shit possible.
And we all know that both of her parents are time travelers now. So she's an ultra strong time traveler. Oh, and this is also a reminder of in the at the beginning of the episode in the previously on, we got the flashback to when they were with the Mohawk. And what was the character's name? The actor's name? The Canadian
Tantu Cardinal.
Tantu Cardinal. That's right. I cannot remember.
If you are on Letterboxd, I'm doing a Letterboxd challenge this year called "Hey, It's Them Guys," where I picked I think 8 character actors, and I'm watching a certain number of movies by each of them. But one of them that I picked is Tantu Cardinal. I really love her,
and she had said to Claire, unfortunately before she died, but when your hair is white, you will come into your full power. You will feel your full power when your hair is as white as the moon or whatever. And Claire all of a sudden is like, look at my hair.
What color is my hair, Jamie?
And Jamie's like, the moonlight. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
So my full power is bringing people back from the dead?
Holy shit.
This is really useful, but also very terrifying.
Yeah. We also get a great scene, which this will transition us nicely to the final thing we want to talk about story-wise, with Claire and Jamie on their massive wraparound balcony, which swoon.
Yeah.
It's like,
Ian put in some good work.
yeah, good job, Ian.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tell me where you got your
this episode.
contractor. Send me the recs.
Yeah. It's a good balcony, where they're processing all the shit that's happening, and Claire is holding Soul of a Rebel by Frank Randall. And they're talking about, first husbands and second husbands and blah. Oh no, we skipped the joke that I wanted to make most.
Please make it.
Which is tying whiny baby together with magic healing shit.
Go on.
We spend that whole episode watching Jamie be in a snit fit, right? And then we get to this scene where they're drinking their whiskey and they're sitting at the table. and Claire is recounting what happened in the convent when she had her miscarriage, and she said, and then Monsieur Raymond came in, and he put his hands on me. And I'm calling bullshit on Jamie not immediately flipping the table. Like, if we're supposed to believe that he spent all that time being mad at Lord John, then when Claire says the line, he put his hands on me, he should have Kool-Aid Man straight through the wall to start running to France
to find Monsieur Raymond and beat his ass.
Beat his ass. Like, well, he put his, where did he touch Claire? Show me on this diet.
That is what they're setting up, though. And I don't like it because we know that's not what he is. We know he's not like that.
But if you're going to do it, lean all the way in. You know what I mean? Make it funny. Yeah. If it's going to be that fucking ridiculous, make it funny at least. Anyway, okay. So they're having their conversation about Frank on the balcony, and I liked that scene.
I did too. And it's really about something that I've been thinking about a lot recently too, which is it really is about a plot point that I've been thinking a lot about recently, which is when Claire reads this book, she has to have some kind of like, what's Frank's game? You know, because she knows the man. Jamie, as obsessed as he is with him, will never really know him. Claire knows him. And so she has to be like, what's his motivation and what is he trying to do? Is he trying to make me feel guilty? Did he think if I read the book when I was alive, I would not come back? Was he trying to save Brianna? Like, there's all these things going through her mind and she has no idea. And it's so funny.
Yeah, I think both of them are being a little dumb because the dedication tells you who the book is for.
Yeah.
Like, the book is for Brianna. Mm-hmm. Like, it says, for my dearest Deadeye, that's for Brianna. He wrote this book for Brianna. It's pretty straightforward to me.
Right there.
Like, he wrote the book for Brianna. Mm-hmm. So, he would, even if he fucking hates your guts, which again, understandable.
Yeah.
Which Jamie at least has the self-awareness to be like, well, I guess maybe if I'm mad at Lord John for this thing, for this one fucking time, I guess Frank could be mad at me for stealing his entire fucking marriage.
Yeah.
But he seems to think like that they're having a hard time parsing his motivations. And right. I think they're dumb and he wrote it for Brianna.
I think he just wants Brianna to be ready for whatever's coming her way.
Yeah, he either knows that Brianna is going to go back or suspects that she might want to and wants to give her as much information as he can.
It feels to me like maybe he must have been doing research for something and saw her name somewhere.
I mean, he's really doing exactly what we do and what so many of us do in this shitty hustle forward culture. Mm-hmm. He's monetizing his hobbies.
Which is stalking Jamie through time.
Yes. He was going to be doing it anyway.
Yeah, why not make some coin?
Right. Like, we're going to be watching Outlander and drinking / getting stoned and talking about it anyway. Why not profit?
Yes, exactly.
So he was just monetizing his hobbies.
Oh, God. But it's just, and we did get a few more Frank voiceovers, sometimes heard as Blackjack by Jamie. Once again, it was a little clearer this time.
I thought this time was perfectly clear. Yeah. All of it was directly to Jamie and it all sounded like Blackjack, which is how Jamie would imagine Frank's voice.
Right.
Which is like a really smart little acting choice from Tobias Menzies.
And I know that a lot of people don't really care for the voiceovers, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
I don't mind it. I any Tobias is some Tobias. So.
Because you know what? They gave him shit to do in F1, the movie.
Oh, that sucks. Well, I hope he made a lot of money.
He was like the squirrely piece of shit secret villain. It's just he didn't get to have as much fun as he should have. No, if you're going to be in a Vroom Cargo Fast Brad Pitt movie, you should get to have more fun.
I hope it's fun. Yeah. So
you can skip that one, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know that I would ever watch it. I enjoyed that scene between Jamie and Claire on the porch talking about Frank's motivations, and the scene of Claire and Brianna in the kitchen talking about boning Lord John. Those were my two favorite scenes of the entire episode.
Same.
And once again, it was hot pess. These are things that we like. They're like talking about relationships or motivations and all that stuff. So it's more interesting than, hey, Cunningham, I don't trust you, man. Are you cool?
Oh, well, counterpoint. I actually do think, and that's going to tie into Frank VO Corner, which is where we're ending, right?
Yeah.
Because Jamie is aware that this shit with Cleveland is in his future, and because he's aware that war is coming to the Ridge, when he hears this shot when he's out with Fanny and realizes that, I just said his name and I've already forgotten it. Cleveland has killed the two men from early in the episode.
One of who was the toe-faced footlicker.
Yeah, to the toe-faced footlicker
and his buddy.
And his foot-faced toe-licker. When he realizes that Cleveland has killed them both because they were smuggling guns back onto the land.
And they actively had a wagon full of guns right there. Like they were bringing in the whole thing.
Obviously concerned about that, but is also furious at Cleveland for doing this on his property and is like GTFO. And Cleveland was like, okay, but like,
I'm taking these guns.
So, and even Fanny is like, oh, well, he's the bad man who was at the store. And Cleveland is like, oh, bad man, was he? You still mad? You still mad that I wanted to hang these dudes from a tree? Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Please get off my property.
Yeah. But, he does have like an unlicked toe to stand on. Not a leg to stand on, but maybe like a single unlicked toe.
You're just like, boop.
Yeah.
So Jamie finds a letter in the guy's boot and fucking Cunningham is up shit creek.
Because everybody seems to forget that Jamie has had 9 million different jobs and he has been good at basically all of them except for being on boats. So like, and even that, he's got acupuncture now. So,
and it reaches into the boot, finds a note, and is like, "Oh, Cunningham, I've got to go back."
Oh, look at this note! It's about Abies Fraseri.
Oh yeah, Abies Fraseri.
Abies Fraseri, and other stuff that like, this is a very boring letter unless and he unscrews the
pistol
butt of a pistol and takes out a decoder that he puts on top of the letter, and it's like is asking for an update from Fraser's Ridge.
It's like sending more guns,
need
blah,
more
blah,
recruits, whatever.
And Cunningham's over here like, I'm not going to die today.
He's like, well, you got me.
You got me.
I think our politics aren't so different after all, sir. But yeah, you caught me red-handed. But I'm not going to die today. So maybe you should.
Whatever.
Maybe you should join the winning side. And you can see Jamie going. So my wife is a time traveling sex witch with lighty up blue magic powers, and
she says,
and her future dead, not born yet, current future husband is also my personal biographer, and
he wrote a book.
He wrote a book that says that war is coming, but also I know
America wins.
That the Brits get the fuck out. So
keep talking, Cunningham.
Yeah, we're not going to see eye to eye on this.
Yeah.
It's a good ending. Like it's that the actor playing Cunningham is good, and like it's a nice tense ending. And again, like I don't think any of the scenes on this episode are bad per se. They're just it felt like a lot of
it felt kind of sloggy and fillery.
And when we have so few storylines and so little time left, you've got to be selective about what's like. We didn't check in with the fucking Amy McCallum story at all. Like no one is going to check on those kids, see how they are. Nobody is dealing with the trauma of that. Like nothing.
Maybe next episode when we get more Ian and Rachel come back.
Yeah, I wanted an update on that little baby.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, it was fine. Like I said, it was fine. It was fine. But last week was so entertaining. Last week was so fun and entertaining and wackadoo and just, it really did kind of remind me of like season 2 shit.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward. And then this one just kind of, it wasn't bad. It was just, it wasn't the episode before.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. But do you have a golden pamplemousse?
Do I have a golden pamplemousse? I think I'm going to give mine to our close personal friend, David Barry. Because while the scene that was my favorite was Brianna and Claire, the individual acting moment that I loved the most was that swooping in and grabbing the booze.
Yeah.
And then he also had to deal with, his fuck cousin coming back. By the way, how many relatives is Willie going to kiss in this show?
Too many. It's already been 2.
It's good thing that he already knows that Brianna is his half sister. Because yikes. Anyway, I thought he was great in all of those scenes, and I'm always just so happy to see him. And watching him be exasperated with Willie, like teenagers, am I right?
Am I right?
Is really fun, and I'm enjoying it a lot. What about you?
I think I would have given it to Claire, but then there was the bluebird shit, and I don't know. Maybe I give mine to old Willie won't go home.
Charles Vandervaart.
Charles Vandervaart, because he is like, it feels he has now taken this Ben thing as a goal. Like he's got a focus now. He's moving forward, and you can tell that he's kind of changing a little bit or getting more solid with himself. I'm sure that has something to do with the very hot lady next to him, but it feels like he's got a renewed purpose, and I enjoyed his scenes in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, we'll be back next week to talk about, let me pull up what the
title is, episode 4 already. And that means that we're already almost halfway through the final season, and we had to deal with whiny bitch baby for too long. Come on.
Oh, why? I don't understand. Why on earth would you do that? Like, let us... the next one is same director, Muskets, Liberty, and Sauerkraut.
Oh, yeah. Remember last episode, they were making sauerkraut. We didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
And I bet it's going to be delicious.
Tangy.
You know what? We'll have to have some fucking tangy breakfast next week.
Okay. I'll think about it.
All right. You guys are the best. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening. You can find more information on this and the rest of our shows at podlanderpresents.com. You can also find us on Instagram at PodlanderCast, at PodlanderPresents, and at various Instagram handles for our various other shows. Our Instagram and website are wrangled by Amelia Ham on the Loose Bazell. All Podlander Presents programming is produced by Allison Shoemaker, Julie Starbird, and Amelia Ham on the Loose Bazell. This episode was edited by Elisa Rosenthal. Our artwork is by Viv Pickles, aka Laura, and we are, as always, eternally grateful to our Drunk Slack moderators, particularly Moderator-in-Chief Jenna Polkowski. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/PodlanderDrunkcast, where you can find all kinds of cool stuff, including access to our Slack, our mostly weekly live watches, early access to episodes, some bonus content, and other fun things. Again, that's patreon.com/PodlanderDrunkcast. You can also support us by leaving a review wherever it is that you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, wherever. Just give us a little review and we will be so grateful to you. And in addition to all of those wonderful people who do all of those wonderful things, we want to especially thank the following lovely folks who support us on Patreon: Claire, Stacy Aaron Calvert, Sarah Bosshart, Amy Colleen, Holly Robertson, Carr, Emily Rydell Fornander. Fornander? Hope it's right. Bonnie, not a prince or a douche, just my name. Jessica Brewer, Kristen Bennett, Gwendolyn Wind, Evietta Chapman, Copper 29 Dragons, Mariana Morris, Janine Hassenberg, Ginka Soja, Cindy Ella, Jay Dykey, Catherine Bullard, Vanessa, Rebecca's Gift, Melissa Mendez, Leslie Jamie, Jennifer, Christina Marina, Tara Ross, Victoria Pegg, Aditi Joshi Parker, Mindy Newell, Laura Coach Mama LT, Tracy Stewart, Brenda Haha, Shayna,
Diana Spragg, Ashley LaHue, Doc JWS, Just Ducky 215, Karen Shane, Eliza Krakowski, Tanya Rickster, Megan Rich, Kate Snipes, Naomi Beckman-Strauss, Alyssa McGuire, Laura Mahoney, Ashley Winteroth, Midnight Burger, Anna N., Dakota Girl, Margot Mansfield, Snazzy Knack, Lisa Briand, Julia Gulia, the Shreveport Gulias, that's a Midnight Burger joke, Kathleen Martini, Jesse Massey, Taryn, KK, Emily Day, Caitlin Reddick, Katie NJ, Molly, Maria DeVito, Kristen and Emerson, Larissa Malmstat, Freckled Fury, Amelia Ham on the Loose Bazell, Patrick, Liz Peniston, Lindsay, Caitlin Ross, Megan Matthey, Denise Perkins, Monica, Amanda Smazazmzazmza, Lori Johnson, Sarah McElvain, Brittany Hulbert, Amy Gustafson, Rachel Townsend, Meredith Kersey, Amber, Liz, Kelly Mazzella, Mary the Falling Statue, Karen J. Young, Philip Nako, Tara Lucchino, Viv Pickles, Mary of the Grapefruit, Jean Kiesler, Kirsty, Jenna Polkowski, Scotty Caldwell, Ann Gibson, Kristen Flannery, Kate G., Jennifer Grebb, Keenan Caldwell, Dee Crawford, Heather Janoff, Kara Marlowe, Trish McCrary, Julie DuToit, Jen Lynn, Kelly Clark, Queen Elizabeth the Young, Jennifer Moniz, and Kiki the Wise. We all love you very much. Thank you so much for supporting us doing all this premium female content.